Thank you for joining the collective. We have a mat class and all you will need is a soft Pilates ball, but set that to the side for now. We are actually going to start our class in a plank. So let's get there. Let's start on our knees just to warm up. Walk out so your wrists are right underneath the shoulders, and then press the hips forward, finding a nice long kneeling plank here. I want you to think about pressing through your palms and then pulling the core in. Using that exhale, your belly button pulls into your spine. Everything tightens from all around. We're just holding it here. If you're feeling nice and warm, I want you to lift the knees off the mat, coming into your full plank. Still thinking about pressing the mat away from you. Feeling that core contract on your exhale. Now you can stay on your toes or drop back down to the knees. We're going to work one side of the body here. So I want you to straighten out the left leg. So just either the right knee is down, or if you're in a full plank, the right toe is down. Take the left leg, tap it out about 6 inches, hold it there. Tap it out 6 more inches, hold it there. Bring it back in 6 inches, hold. Bring it back to center, hold. So we're going to go out, out, in. If you're in a full plank, it looks like this. Out, out, in. Keep going. Out, out, in. Now I want you to really focus on keeping the hips as still as possible. That left hip is going to want to move a lot. Try to keep it still. That's why we're not tapping out very far. We're working on that stabilization. One more time. Out, out. Now hold it in. From here, we're going to go into a tricep push-up, bending the elbows, lift the back leg, and up. The back leg is going to lift as we drop the forearms to the mat, and up, down, and up. Lifting that back heel. 2, last one. Hold it down here. Now pulse that leg higher, higher. So we're on the forearms for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee in. Big child's pose. Roll those wrists out. Nice job. Shifting back into that plank. Find your kneeling plank or your full plank. Same exact series with the other leg. I want you to straighten the right leg out now. Hold it still. We tap out 6 inches, hold. Another 6 inches, hold. Bring it in 6, all the way home 6. So we go out, out, in. Option, you're in that full plank. Out, out, in. Now I want you going slow on purpose. Now focus on the stabilization of those hips. They do not move at all, or you're trying your best not to let them move. Out, out. 2 more times. Slow it down. Last one. Now hold that leg all the way back. We're going to lower tricep push-up, but we're going to drop to the forearms, lift the back leg, and then press back up to neutral. Drop the forearms, lift the back heel, shift into a neutral position. Down, neutral. 3. Pull that core in. 2. Hold it here. Hold it here. Little pulses of that leg higher. Higher. 4. 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee in. Open the knees wide. Child's pose. Roll out those wrists. Nice job. I hope you're feeling nice and warm. We're going to take that ball now. Ball is going to go behind the shoulder blades. So onto your booties, find the shoulder blades. That's where the ball is going to go. Knees are bent. Now I want you to lift your tailbone off the mat to tuck your pelvis under. So now my low back is pressing into the mat here. So I don't want the low back to ever lift off. We're not doing any type of arching. The pelvis tucks under, low back plants onto the mat. We're crunched up. We're keeping our C-spine the entire time. We're going to start with the knees bent. Option, you're going to hold behind the legs for that support to keep you in your C-spine here. So by pulling myself towards my thighs, I'm going to maintain that C-spine. So it's not about the neck coming forward. It's about the bottom of your rib cage shifting towards the top of your hip bones. So instead of thinking, let me lift from my neck, I want you to think, let me lift from my core, shifting my rib cage to my hips. Now bring that left leg to tabletop. You're going to reach it long. Exhale, bend it in. If it feels good, release the one arm. If it feels good, release both arms. Or most challenging, hands behind the head holding that C-spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend in. Now let's add an additional crunch. You're going to inhale, lengthen over the ball. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale in. This is almost like our single leg reach or a double leg reach here. Option, remember, you can hold on here or keep that arm out for extra leverage. You got it. Crunching in, out, in. Last one. Nice job. Now extend that leg long, and we're going to lift it up to the ceiling. Lower back down, keeping that crunch up to the ceiling and down. Remember your options here. You've got options. Now let's add that extra crunch. You're going to inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch it up. Thinking about the rib cage, shortening that distance to your hip bone. Final two. Last one. Nice job. Hug that knee into your chest. Set it to the floor. Straighten to the other side. Maintain that C-spine. We reach the right leg out. Exhale, bend it in. Reach it out. Bend it in. Remember your options with the arms. Out. Exhale in. Now let's add that additional crunch if you want it. Crunching in, reaching long. Big exhale as you bring it all together. 3, 2, 1. Now extend that leg long. We lift it to the ceiling. With control, we lower down. Exhale to lift. Remember your options. Curl up a little higher. Let's add that additional crunch. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, crunch it in. Final two. Last one. Nice job. Hug that knee in. Set it down to the mat. Now I want you to extend both legs out long and then let the upper body relax over that ball. Big stretch, opening the chest. Nice job. When you're ready, readjust that ball if you need to, finding that C-spine again. Remember, keep that tailbone tucked under. This time, both our legs are going to be long, and then that left leg's going to come to tabletop option. That left leg can be on the ground if you want. So actually, let's start there. I'm going to take my left leg to the ground. Right leg is all the way straight. Left foot down, right leg straight. I'm going to take the right hand behind my head, opposite hand behind my head, and I'm going to hold onto that leg. And now I'm going to think about a side bend. I want to crunch over to the side and center. over to the side, so I'm not crossing over. I'm going around my leg. So I'm thinking about, let me try to look and see my ankle here. A big look. Option, you take that hand off and you're going to reach for the ankle. Around to the side. Reaching to the side. Option, leg comes to tabletop. Reach for that ankle. Reach for that ankle. 3. 2 more. Reaching. Last one to the side. Good. Reset for a second. Now we're going to do that rotation with a twist here. So I'm going to set my left hand to the ground for support, and then I'm going to rotate opposite elbow to knee, back to center. Rotating up and over, back to center. If you want to hold on for that extra support, you have that here. Option, leg comes to tabletop, and we're going to crunch over and center. Over and center. We should be feeling upper abdominals here, up high. Last one. Reset for a second. All right, we're going to put the two together. We're going to do one side bend, so that reach for the ankle, and then one cross, and we'll add in as we go. So if you'd like to start with that leg down, you can start with it down. We're going to reach for the ankle, hand to the floor, cross over. Option, leg is here. Reach for the ankle, cross over. Side bend, rotation. Now I'm going to add an extension of the leg only if you want it. Side bend, extend out. Next time you come in, you rotate. Extend out, side bend, ankle reach. Extend long, rotate up and over. Crunch to the side, crunch up and over. Reach for the ankle, elbow to knee. Reach for that ankle, elbow to knee. One more full set here. Reach for the ankle, elbow to knee. Great job. Reset. Roll it out. Let's go for the other side. You ready? You know what to expect this time. Left leg is long, right foot is planted onto the floor, and then I am going to reach to the side to come around to look at my ankle around the outside. Look for my ankle, lifting my arm up, reaching for my ankle. Option, leg is here. So it's a side bend, reaching for that ankle. 3, 2, last one. Now, that foot comes down again. Now we do that rotation, opposite elbow to knee. You're going to crunch up and over, out to the center. Up and over, out to the center. You have options here. Press that palm into the floor next to you, crunching up and over. Final 3, 2, and 1. Reset for a second. Final set here. We put the two together. We do one ankle reach, one rotation. Reaching for that ankle, elbow to knee. Option, leg is up. We reach, we rotate. Ankle, elbow to knee. Ankle, elbow to knee. You got it. Side bend, rotation. 2 more full sets. Last set here. Nice job. Hug those knees in. Rock all the way up. We're going to do a side lying series now. So you're going to come all the way down on your side. I am going to rest my head into my palm, and I'm going to stack my hips, stack my shoulders. I am lined up against the very edge of my mat. Now I'm going to take my bottom leg and reach it as long as possible. I want it in line, my heel in line with my hip. So my bottom leg is long. I'm going to take the ball behind the top knee here. And we're going to get some negative work here. If our leg was in front, it would have to stop right here. to hit our leg, I want this leg out of the way so we can get it even lower, right? So it's going to drop down even lower, but the key is to not let the hips roll forward. I want your hips to stay stacked, so your leg probably won't touch the ground completely in front of you because you're trying to keep the hips stacked, but you're going to lower the leg and lift the leg down. Make sure this hip isn't rolling forward. I like to use my hand in front for some balance here, and then I really press into my bottom foot to help balance me as well. So trying to keep the hips as still as possible. This leg is at a 90-degree, knee in front of the hip. We lower it and down and up, down and up. You should feel that entire body working right now, trying to keep you balanced here. Down and up. So our hips should not be rocking back and forth. Our hips are still. 3, 2, hold that leg up. Little pulses, higher, higher. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Bend that bottom knee up. So now your bottom knee is at a perfect 90-degree. Now lift your top leg. Now I want you to shift your knee to point down where your bottom leg just was. So now my knee is pointing to the bottom of the mat. And we're going to lower that leg down towards the ground, lift to the top. So now my shoulder, hip, and knee are in one long line. So my knee's not out here. My knee's pressed all the way back. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. So take a look. See if your shoulder, hip, and knee are one long line. Down and up. Again, you get some of that negative space dropping lower than the hip. My knee does not actually touch the ground because I'm trying to keep my hips still. Down and up. 3, 2, hold it up. Make sure your knee is pointed down. Pulse it higher, higher, higher. 4, 3, 2, hold it here. We're going to do a big rainbow with our knee. You're going to connect the knees in front, lift up and over, reach that knee away and down. Up together, rotate away. So you're drawing a big rainbow shape from your knee to in line with the hip. Three, 2, last one. Nice job. Remove that ball. Now we're going to bring that knee back to where it was. Press yourself up so you find yourself in this mermaid sit or your Z sit here. Now we're going to take the ball. We're going to rotate to face away over this front leg. Pull it back to center. Squeeze as you rotate. Come back to center. Squeeze and center. One more. Squeeze and center. Now we're going to do that rotation. Take the ball down, roll it out, pull it back to you. Bring it up and center. Rotate, roll, center, up, rotate, down. Last one. Great job. Now hold on to the opposite shin, big side bend in the other direction. Great job. Now let's flip and do the other side. So now I'm going to lay on my right side, resting my head into my hand. The ball goes behind the top knee. Now I'm going to straighten that bottom leg as long as I can get it. Really press that foot into the ground. Now bring the top leg in front of you, knee in front of your hip at a 90-degree. You're going to lower and lift, down and up, trying to keep the hips still. I don't want you to roll forward, lift back, roll forward. I want this as still as possible. So I really have to press into that bottom foot and also use this top hand to help stabilize me. Little hydrants here. Down and up. Lowering and lifting. We have 4, 3, 2. Now hold it up. We pulse that leg higher, higher. Just the tiniest little pulse. You're squeezing that ball for 3, 2, 1. Bend that bottom leg in with you. So now this leg is a 90 degree. And then I want you to push your knee all the way back. So your knee, hip, and shoulder are in one line. You're going to lower that knee to the floor, lift it up. Dropping down, make sure that knee is not coming out here. That knee is pressed all the way back, and you're lowering towards the floor and lifting up, really reaching through that knee, pointing away from you. So the top of my head is reaching in one direction. My knee cap is reaching in the other direction. Again, trying to stabilize those hips as best you can. 2 more. Hold it up. Little pulses higher, higher. Reach through that knee. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that rainbow, the knee comes up and over. Knees connect. Lift that knee up and over, away. Together, away. So that kneecap is drawing a big arch. 4. Final 2. Try to stabilize the core, stabilize the hip. Nice job. Remove that ball, drop that top leg so we come up into our Z-sit or our mermaid sit. Taking the ball into our hands, we're going to rotate and squeeze. Come to center. Rotate, squeeze, back to center. 3, 2. Now we're going to do that combo. You're going to rotate, find the floor, press and roll away, pull it back in, lift up, come center, rotate, down, roll, press, lift, and center. Really press into that ball. 2 more times. Last one. Squeeze. Nice job. Now come on to your stomach again. Or for the first time, I guess. We only did a plank earlier. So come all the way down onto your stomach, prone position. Now we are nice and warmed up to do some swan here. So legs are going to come as wide as the mat. Tuck the pelvis under. Squeeze the glutes. Reach the ball out as far as you can. Palms press into the ball. Your neck is nice and long. You don't have any wrinkles in the back of your neck. You're going to press into the ball with your palms. Keep the arms straight. Start to roll the ball towards you so you can lift the chest and then roll the ball back out. Roll the ball to you, finding that swan, and roll it back out. You might have to adjust the placement of that ball to get that full lift. Rolling it in, lifting through the crown of the head. Resist, resist as you lower. Pressing into the ball, finding the length in the spine, not necessarily the height. 2 more. Last one. All the way out. Nice job. Come back into that child's pose, opening the knees wide, sending the hips back, rounding through the spine. In this class, we got some flexion, extension, lateral flexion, and rotation. We nailed all movements of the spine. I want you to shift into a tabletop position. And I want you to just do little rocks back and forth. So this is a great class to work as a circuit, repeating this class about 3 times in a row, circuit style. Hold it here, center. Now little rocks side to side. We're just relaxing our tight hip flexors and also any tension in the low back here. Nice job. Come to a seated position. Hands by your sides, palms face up. One final inhale, arms float up to the ceiling, hands together at the top. Close your eyes. Take a moment to appreciate everything your body did for you today. Great job. Thank you for joining me on the collective. Like I said, repeat this class 2 to 3 times in a row, and I will see you next time.